Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is GameNut321 and I am here to give you guys my top tips for beginners for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer. Now, the game has been out for a couple days and I've actually had a lot of fun playing it. I'm already first prestige and I'm here to give you guys my personal tips on what you should do when you first play the multiplayer version of Black Ops 3. Just as a bonus, here's a dank quickscope.
Wait. Oh, you got his bone.
Alright guys, so for tip number 5 is going to be about the specialist that you get to choose in the beginning of multiplayer. When you're first level 1, you only get to choose one specialist out of the 4 that are available, but later on as you progress, there will be more specialists to unlock. Now each specialist actually has their own ability and their own weapon. Typically their ability would be good for building a kill streak, for example, or just flanking the enemy, or however their ability is used for, and their weapon is typically used for kills. You know, if you want to actually clear out a room full of enemies, you can use, for example, gravity spikes. You can jump up in the air and slam them down on the ground, and anybody around that slam will be killed. Another good specialist ability is to use the Prophet's glitch ability. Basically what this does is this lets you teleport back about 3 seconds of where your character used to be. For example, this would be useful for clearing out a room. So say you run into a room and then you kill a guy and then you have to reload your gun. While you're reloading your gun, you can't shoot your gun. And if one of their teammates comes in and starts shooting you and you know you're about to die, you can use that glitch ability and teleport out back to 3 seconds of where you were at, and you can recover or retreat, or you can just come back with a counter attack, and it's a really good counter for, you know, if you're trying to rush the enemy or things like that. So choose your specialist ability and just see which one you like. Alright, so the next tip I have for you guys is to play against some bots. Go ahead and go into some custom games or go into local play and go ahead and verse some bots. Now the first thing I did, I actually went into a custom games lobby and I actually loaded in some bots and I made myself my own class and I picked the specialist and I just fooled around with the different guns. I fooled around with different specialist abilities. I looked at the maps. I actually got a little familiar with the game before I actually went into a legit multiplayer match just to get a hang of things so I don't actually go negative my first match. Put them on recruit, put them on regular, put them on some kind of difficulty, but just get used to the guns, get used to the sensitivity, you know, look in your options, adjust your sensitivity, things like that. For this next tip I have for you guys is to always aim down sights around your corners. A lot of people get in the bad habit of sprinting around corners, and then when they see a guy, they have to get out of sprint, aim their gun and shoot, and usually by that time, if the other player is good, they will be killed and then you just die basically. So the best thing I would tell you guys to do is always aim down sights around your corners. Check your corners because there's a lot of campers. When you enter a room and you know there's going to be enemies in there, stop and aim down sights and then turn the corner because you have your gun ready. All you have to do is shoot and you're already ahead of the game because Black Ops 3 is a twitch-based shooter. Everything you do has to be fast. It's not like Halo where you have a shield and then you have to unload a whole clip on them and kill them. No, this is Call of Duty. You can die in 3 shots, so you have to be on point and you have to react fast. Now in Black Ops 3, everyone has infinite sprint. There is no extreme conditioning. Everyone can sprint really fast and everyone can sprint without stopping or getting tired. Another tip for you guys is to use the quick draw attachment on your guns. Now quick draw enables you to aim down sights faster, so if you actually combine that with aiming down sights around the corner, you can actually bring up your gun faster and you can have more accuracy over your opponent and you can get the first shot on them. Alright guys, so for this next tip is to always stick with your teammates. I know this is pretty much common sense, but there's a lot of people using UAVs on Black Ops 3. I've actually seen a lot of UAVs in the sky these days, and there's a lot of people out there just running out there like they're not being seen by the enemy. So it's always a good idea to stick with your teammates just so someone has your back and then you're not a sitting duck out there on the radar. So just stick with your teammates. That's all you really have to do. Don't go out there, be a hero. Just stick with your teammates and you should be fine. For this final tip I have for you is to never melee in Black Ops 3 unless you actually have a knife. The reason why is because there is no more panic knifing in Black Ops 3. Instead, when you melee with the gun out, you actually hit them with the back of your gun and it actually takes 2 hits, not 1. So if you're in a situation when you run in a room and then you see a guy, it's best that you shoot him rather than meleeing him, because if you melee him, you have to hit him twice, and if he reacts fast enough, he can shoot you and you're basically dead. So I suggest you go to your button layout and actually switch it to tactical. It switches your circle button and your crouch button, and it actually makes it easier to crouch, but it makes it harder to knife. But since it's not really a one-hit kill with meleeing anymore, it's better that you actually switch to tactical, and right before you actually see the guy, or right before you actually shoot the guy, you want to prone and then you want to shoot, because that actually makes you harder to hit and you actually don't melee and you can shoot the guy rather instead. I know it sounds kind of weird if you play on default, but if you actually switch to tactical, you can prone and shoot at the same time rather than just meleeing him, because you can't one-hit melee anymore. It actually takes 2. Now, if you want to attach a combat knife, that's actually an unlockable. You have to use a token to unlock it, and then when you do, you can put it as a secondary, and then it'll count as a one-hit kill. But if you do switch to a secondary and you don't actually have a secondary, you pull out your fists and you punch people, and it actually takes 2 hits. Now, if you melee him from the back, it's going to be 1 hit regardless. But if it's from the front or the sides, it's going to take 2. So please keep that in mind, and just be sure not to panic knife when you have a gun out. And just as a bonus tip for you guys, if you actually have the Nuketown bonus map on multiplayer, you can actually shoot through most of the walls in Nuketown. You don't need FMJ to shoot through the walls. You can actually shoot through the walls themselves, just because I'm not sure why it's like that. Instead of the other maps, you can actually not shoot through very thin layers of the wall, but for Nuketown, for some reason, you can just shoot through the doors and you can actually get hit markers. So just keep that in mind. You don't really need FMJ. It's just a little bonus tip. I thought you needed FMJ for all the walls, but the wall penetration in Black Ops 3 is pretty weak unless you have FMJ. But on Nuketown, that actually doesn't exist. You can actually wall bang people through the wall on Nuketown, which is a good thing to keep in mind. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all I have for this video. I know it's kind of random how I just do like a Black Ops 3 commentary, tip and trick video, but there's a lot of people just now getting Black Ops 3. There's a lot of newbies getting the game. There's a lot of people going to be Christmas noobs, and then they're going to get wrecked in lobbies. But you know, if you're not going to get the game till Christmas, this video will definitely help you and not to be a noob in the game, because by the time you get the game, there's going to be a lot of people who already know the map, who already know the spawns, who already have a lot of good weapons, and then you're sitting over here with the most default stuff ever. So just keep in mind all the tips I said. This will help you out for any beginners, and even if you actually played the game for a while, you might actually get used to these tips and keep them in mind, guys. I'm definitely going to do some Call of Duty funny moments and some gun syncs, so I'm not going to really stop those at all, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you have any other tips for any other beginners, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.